Hello and welcome back to another in-depth video. Today we are talking about Winter Storm Quinlan, which is going to be a pretty much cross-country snowstorm that's going to be bringing snow from the front range of the Rockies to the central plains, to the south, to the southeast, and then eventually into the northeast. Since this storm is so complex, we're going to be focusing on the front range and the southern and central plains today, and then later this week I'll talk about the southeast and the northeast. So, at a glance, a winter storm will bring snow to the Rockies, Plains, and Midwest into Thursday. This storm could bring out snow in parts of the Mid-South Thursday night through Friday night, and then snow and strong winds and heavy rain will also impact the East Friday night into Saturday. This storm has been named Winter Storm Quinlan by the Weather Channel. So right now we do have a nor'easter in the northeast that's bringing in cold air into the central plains, and we'll see intense snowfall moving out into the plains as we speak. Right now, there's some winter alerts in place. We'll look at that in a little bit. So the Weather Channel is showing relatively low snowfall totals for this storm system, but areas like Denver could see 3 to 5 on this model. The areas around Kansas City also 3 to 5, but there's some areas in there with 5 to 8, maybe even 8 to 12 in some higher elevations. We're not going to talk about Friday night, or Saturday. And you can see here that eventually we put Kansas City, the Weather Channel put Kansas City in that 5 to 8 inch range. So rainfall, we'll take a look at later this week. So NWS hazards. We currently have winter storm warnings in areas such as Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri, and winter weather advisories from Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. So, let's take a look at our setup. So here is the NAM. We're going to use a 12-kilometer model to get maximum range, but we currently have some very light snow in areas of Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska. Now, eventually a low pressure forms, and we see some more intense snowfall starting to pour into the front range of the Rockies, and then eventually into areas of Kansas. And as this happens, we could see that, this is a very slow-moving system as it's moving through this area. But generally, we could see some areas, such as Kansas City, be under the gun for, snowfall for many hours. You can see that Kansas City starts here. This is hour 24, which is right around 6 a.m. Thursday morning. And then they're going to be getting snow through, this is 48, so 24 hours straight of snowfall of varying intensity before the storm starts to really pick up, and we start to see some more snow on the back end here as the storm's eventually going to kind of tilt, and we see snow on the back end with rain on the front end in parts of the southeast and the east. So in terms of our snowfall totals, you can see that the NAM is much more bullish on this storm. So in the front range of the Rockies, we have some areas potentially getting over a foot, maybe even 18 to 20 inches of snowfall. This is pretty, I believe, average for this time of the year, but just from this snowstorm alone, 20 inches is a pretty decent amount. I think it was last March we had Winter Storm Xylia that brought plenty of snow to this area of the country as well, and they got potentially over 2 feet. So pretty similar amounts there. Now, in terms of, Denver, I believe the Denver area is right in here. You could be in that 6-inch range potentially. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I believe they're right in here. So yeah, 3 to 6 inches generally. Some areas could see a little bit more than that. Kansas City, on the other hand, which is right in here, could see, 6 to 12 inches, maybe even in the higher end of that range, especially if they do get that prolonged period of moderate snowfall. But generally, most of Kansas is in that 6 to 12 inch range, except for very southern Kansas. Parts of southern Nebraska also around that 6 to 12 inch range, but more in that 3 to 6. Parts of North and West Missouri in that 3 to 6 and 6 to 12 inch range, with southern Missouri, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, varying degrees, because there is some areas of Oklahoma that could see 6 inches of snow, but generally less than 6 inches. Some areas could be in that 3 to 6, some areas in that 0 to 3. So just for some color coding here, light blue is 0 to 3, dark blue is 3 to 6, pink is 6 to 12, and then 12 plus is in this kind of maroon purple color. Now I do want to take a quick look at kind of the broad spectrum of this storm. You can see that the European model is showing that prolonged area of snow kind of diminishing a little bit, and then we ramp back up, and the storm will eventually move into the east with a lot of power and is expected to bomb out, which means that it will be dropping 24 millibars in 24 hours. The reason why I'm not going to be covering this is for two reasons. One, we don't have it fully loaded in on the NAM yet, and with storms that are going to bomb out, I like to get some mesoscale models to kind of solidify any predictions that we make. And two, the exact track of this low pressure is not defined yet. We have had, the European model has been pretty bullish on this eastern track, potentially bringing in a nor'easter type of scenario, but there's also some models, such as the NAM, that are showing a low pressure tracking all the way through western New York and western Pennsylvania. So there's a very large difference in where this low pressure is going to go. That brings uncertainty way up, and that is why I'm not going to be covering that storm today. But in terms of the central plains, we are going to see prolonged period of mostly light to moderate with some heavy snow mixing in, and that could tally up some snowfall totals 6 to 12 inches. But that is all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.